I've been thinking about making this video for a while, but I've been waiting to get to 10k subscribers. I'm at 9,829, and I thought, let's just make the video. I've also written a whole bunch of notes and started writing a script and thought, you know what? I'm actually just going to do this freestyle. I actually kind of want to make a few more videos like this on the channel where I'm just talking, rather than all of the videos being super scripted. And I wanted to share with you some of my experiences, really, what I've learned genuinely from starting this YouTube channel to getting to 10,000 subscribers. It's been a 4-year road for me. I started when, I guess I must have been, well, I'm 47 now, so I must have been around 43. So it wasn't something that I started mega young, although I always had an interest in video. In fact, one of the first channels that I started, I think I've had this channel actually since 2005 or 2006, around there, but the first channel that I started when I was doing a band in London was in the first year of YouTube. So I've always had a love for video and for audio and just generally creating stuff and making stuff. So YouTube was a really nice fit, but I was much more creative when I started. It wasn't tuitional based, and I don't think that really crossed my mind. I wish it had done. I might have started it a bit sooner. But you know, all things come at the right time, I guess. I'm a big believer of that. We had a tiny Nikon Coolpix. It was about that big. And it came with like a PC media pack kit that we got, that we paid back on tick. In fact, I don't think we ever fully paid back the deal, if I'm honest. I hope they're not watching now. Yeah, you got the PC and you got the camera and probably some like software that went with it as well. But it was really crude. I think it was 3.2 megapixels, which I guess back then was a lot. I know my phone's 50 megapixels, and I don't know what the latest camera is, but I'm sure 3.2 doesn't sound like very much. But I remember then, and this must be about 2006, just being able to film something was just incredible. No smartphones, and just being able to film video and edit it in some capacity was just incredible. So, and then with YouTube being able to do it and then share it to people was like, whew. First thing, you know, we thought of was we can make band videos. So I remember doing things like hanging up dressing gowns as backdrops and all kinds of stuff like that, and just having fun with it really and experimenting. But I had this channel for ages, which I had when I started my own band and stuff, and I put my own stuff on here, and I think it had a few hundred subscribers. But I dallied around with it then sort of in sort of 2015, 16 again, and did a few things. And then I think I just felt way out of my depth, so I just left it alone. Probably did quite a lot of studying and a lot more production in that time as well. And I worked in a studio for quite a while in that time as well. So then when I came to it in sort of post-COVID to actually think, right, let's take this channel from, I don't know, 400 subscribers and just move it around from being an entertainment channel to being tuitional. And I had the business idea as well. I wanted it not just to, I didn't just want to do YouTube. I wanted to have a business too, and I'd researched courses and doing mentoring, that kind of stuff. So I really wanted to move in that area. But the funny thing with YouTube is that you get documented along the way, and it's quite unique like that, I suppose, unless you worked in television in the past. But there's not much that you get documented all the way incrementally through every stage, so you can look back through every stage of it and gauge your progress. And in that sense, it can be a bit agonizing. I mean, I don't choose to look back too much, but when I do look back, or if I'm making a video where I want an old bit of footage, if I go back even, you know, 4 years, there's not a huge amount of time. I don't think you would necessarily expect there would be such a sharp increase in your skill set if you were thinking of it in another field, maybe even really music. I think it's because it's so visual, you can see you change and you see your skills, and there are many skills that are involved in video production, you know, the sound, the video, your own presenting skills. You see the environment around you. Since I've done this, I've moved house 3 times, and my studio's way better than it was. It's just, I've got a bit of a drooper. It's mic stand. Let's see if we can say my studio's way better than it was. Still got a droopy mic stand. But yeah, the improvements have just been incredible. I think mainly also with me, my skills, and it's incredible what you don't see when you start out. And I don't know if you're blessed to be a young person now, maybe I suspect your eyes, because you've become acclimatized to seeing YouTube and you've grown up with better cameras and better gear, that you probably have a much better idea than somebody like me who's sort of straddled all of it through the decades. You know, I can remember the time before. I remember the original like tape video cameras that nobody had apart from the rich kid at school, all the way through to when I did a BTEC media course when I was about 20, and we were editing on tape. We were cutting tape and editing with Betamax, I think, Super 8 and all that stuff. So, you know, it's amazing how much everything's changed. But what you get with YouTube is you get yourself documented through all of that time, which is kind of cool because it's quite nice because I mean, can you imagine if you documented your entire life, which will have generations of people, which they will have done that, will have had a YouTube channel for 10, 15, well, almost 20 years now. And if you started back then documenting yourself, imagine having 20 years of yourself you can look back on. And already, you know, I've got 4 years. I want to keep this channel going because I love doing this channel. So it'll be amazing to be able to look back and see this huge, big body of work and see me changing and my skill set changing. And just, I watched, before I did this video, I watched a couple of what I've learned. Now I have 10k subscriber videos, and there was one guy just talking about it, saying he was 1,000 subscribers, then got to 10k, and he said, I'm hoping to get to 20, and one day, my wildest dreams, I've got my, you know, can I get to 50? And I looked at his channel, he had 727,000 subscribers. So isn't that incredible? You know, it's just great to be able to look back, but also sometimes a little bit freaky. I'm going to look at my notes and see if there's anything that I wrote down that's important to tell you. So I've sort of made some notes on like the good and the bad. One of the really good things is it's brought so much. It's undeniable that it's brought so many good things into my life. I've met so many cool people, and continue to, people in my field. I've met some really good friends through doing this, and not just fellow creators, but also people that work in companies. Got some great relationships with some companies now and individuals in those companies, who I think of as my friends as well as work colleagues. And we all work in the same industry, so we're all creatives. And, you know, you rarely meet anyone that works within music, audio or video that hasn't started out by singing, playing guitar, playing piano, or interest in production, or indeed with regards to video or audio, or, you know, we all tend to start from the similar area, and we all like being creative. But what all of that has helped me to feel is part of an industry which I never felt as a musician. No, I don't mind working on my own. I don't get massively affected by loneliness. And I very much like working a lot of the time, and the majority of the time on my own. But being solitary and also feeling disconnected isn't necessarily so healthy. And I think certainly as a performer and as an original singer-songwriter artist, I definitely felt out on the limb and didn't really feel part of anything, because a lot of other singer-songwriters were kind of the same as me, and they're off in their own little orbit as well. So it's been really nice to be part of something without having to. It hasn't been, I mean, I'm autistic, so I find that I have a limited amount of time that I can spend around people before I get really quite tired. So I just have to be aware of that. This way, I can make the connections and have connections with people and companies that feel valued, but I don't find it too intense. It's a lovely way for me personally to have grown my name and just have a place in the industry. Of course, the other connection is with you, with the people on the other side of the camera, that you make a difference. And I know people talk a lot about the unpleasant comments and things like that it's possible to receive on any. I mean, I don't think of YouTube like social media. I think of it just like a big video search engine, really, of information. But yeah, that is part of it. But I mean, come on, I busked for many, many years. I can tell you that I received much worse. Busking's physical. People are right there in front of you, standing there very vulnerable with your guitar. Here we're just like on a keyboard. And I just met so many amazing people that leave incredible comments just to be, sometimes it can be just like, I've reviewed a plugin and just try to be helpful. Maybe just showed it off. So I've saved someone a bit of time or showed them how to do something. And just to get a comment at the start of the day just says, thanks so much for this. I found this so helpful. And the bigger the channel gets, the more I receive those. And sometimes it's things which I think, really? I didn't even, I made this video 3-4 years ago. I don't know, does anyone still watch this? And that it's still helpful. It's just, it's really nice. One thing in music, which if you are, I'm sure you'll sort of feel is sometimes you're not quite sure what your purpose is. It can feel like I had this great conversation with a good friend of mine recently of like, I think he was getting his roof done. And he was like, it feels sometimes in music like you've learned all of these skills, but really what's the point of them? A lot of skills that sometimes don't feel like they have a huge amount of value. So it's great to put those skills to use through YouTube and through also helping other people. It's a really nice kind of perfect circle. Well, I mean, it's not perfect. That leads me on to some of the challenging things, because I guess it can be, I mentioned earlier that I don't necessarily get lonely or that I like working on my own. I mean, I'm blessed to have a lovely family, so I come in here, I work, I do my job, and then I can socialize with my family. And if I was doing this just locked in a bubble on my own in a flat day in, day out, I think I might go a little bit mad, just solely working with YouTube and editing and film and editing, filming, editing. I think it's really important to do other things. And I think it could potentially get really stressful if you're thinking about doing it. And I think it's easy to outlay a plan and say, hey, I'm going to do 3-4 videos a week. I did one thing where I did 28 days. I set myself a challenge to do 28 days of back-to-back sort of mixing a track. I must have done that about 2 years ago. And I won't ever do that again. That was just insanely challenging, and I don't think you're not necessarily making the best content if you're putting yourself under that sort of level of stress. But I see other YouTubers as well. I remember seeing Glenn Fricker, who has such a great channel, Spectre Sounds channel, and I remember his wife sadly wasn't too well, and I could see he was really stressed. He was stressing about, hey guys, can you view my channel and keep the channel going, and I don't want the channel to go under. And really, for a channel of his size, it's a thing with YouTube. It's going to be fine. I think it's really important to get a bit in perspective in that you must be in control of YouTube, I think, or your YouTube channel, not the other way around. You are not beholden to have to do 2 videos a week, even if you say on your banner, new videos every Monday and Thursday. People aren't going to hold you to account if you miss a Thursday, or if you indeed even need to take 2 or 3 weeks off. When I've moved house, I just, might have a couple of preloaded videos that are put up. I might be aware that I want to keep a channel going and have a few shorts, do something that's easy, but at the end of the day, I'm the boss, and I think that's really important. That's something I would say to anybody wanting to get into this, that You know, don't freak out that it's all just going to fall to pieces if you've got other commitments in your life and you just need a bit of time away. But honestly, I can't really think about too many negatives. I've just learned so much doing it. It's brought me so many incredible things. You know, a lot of the equipment is from companies that I've worked with in this pretty short space of time over just a few years. And all the plugins and the exciting work that's been sent my way, and the stuff that I really am so thankful for that I get to check out, and just the fun challenges. I've had so many briefs and products to check out, and often thought, "Oh, I don't even know how to do this, how to demonstrate it." Even stuff that I think as well, my own videos, making the courses, making the whole of realhomestudio.com and building that and steering that ship and deciding what I want to do with it. Inspired me to write the book, The Art of No Plan B. Just done so much stuff in this space of time. It's just all been incredibly worth it. I can't imagine what would have happened or what I would have done if I hadn't have done this, because I love this. I'm privileged to have this as a job, and a job that I really love. I suppose the last thing to say about it as well is I'm really thankful to you as well for subscribing to the channel, to liking the videos, and showing interest, commenting, signing up on my mailing list and getting involved, taking my courses and listening to what I've got to say. Genuinely every day I'm so grateful for you and for this channel and everything that's that's happened around Real Home Studio. So if you are thinking about getting involved with YouTube, this road from 0 to 10K has just been really beyond my wildest dreams. It's been fantastic. I'm excited to see where the journey takes me next. I know I've got a lot of ideas going on at the moment, so I'm just working at videos at the moment and letting some of those ideas come forward. But it's going to be an exciting future for the channel. So if you did enjoy this video today, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments box below what you think about this kind of format, which I want to do more of, which is just being a bit more relaxed, a bit more myself rather than super scripted, and do some more talking to camera, a bit like this. So let me know what you think of this format too. Let me know in the comments box below. If you want to know more about how I make a living from this YouTube channel and indeed the business realhomestudio.com, check out this next video. Have yourself a great day.